Good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing today, folks? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Mania Live. Nice to have you with us for this Monday, the 5th day of February, the year 2018. And of course, this is yours truly, Angelo Perry. Always love that warm applause. As always, coming alive and at you from the busy streets of Brooklyn, New York. And today, I'm inside the campus of Long Island University as I chat to you what is happening as far as the world of sports is concerned. Now, today, obviously, we talking about the recap of the Super Bowl. And first off, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles winning their first Super Bowl ever. Their first NFL championship since 1960. And it's been a long while, and the one word that sums it in the Super Bowl, and while we're talking about it there, is simply finally. Finally, the Philadelphia Eagles finally win their first Super Bowl title. Their first Super Bowl ever. But their first NFL title since 1960, as I mentioned before. And the thing that really jumps at me, when I saw the game, the thing that really jumps at me is how bad the defense has, how bad, atrocious, whatever you want to call it. The defense was a no-show yesterday. Yes, prior to Cox making that strip sack, I believe, towards the 2 minute warning, towards 2 minutes to the game. Outside of that, their defense got destroyed all game. Nick Foles, Michael Butler, and I be hearing. If Michael Butler wasn't bench, would it made a difference? Or Michael Chung? Not really. Not really. No. Because have we forgetting, folks, that the New England Patriots defense is one of the worst, is second to last in the NFL? Have we forgot about that? But I was more surprised than the Philadelphia Eagles defense was bad. Yes, as I mentioned, they made the play in the end. But their defense was awful. Really awful. And it was fortunate enough they didn't make it was fortunate enough that Gronkowski didn't make that catch in the final play of the game, and I will get to the commentating later on in the show, later on in the program. But I want to stick at this. But outside of that, it was a terrific game. Those are the type of games. Personally, I love when it's back and forth. I don't mind a lot of offense as long as if it keep coming back and back and back. And one thing I got to give the Philadelphia Eagles a lot of credit for, they stay aggressive throughout the game. They did not back down. That fourth down play in the fourth quarter were 5 minutes. 5 minutes or 4 minutes, right around there. And I thought they have to punt the football. I have to admit, when I say they have to punt the football, and for Doug Peterson to keep his offense on the field and to go for it, that was really a gutsy call. It really was a gutsy call. Because I was thinking, punt the football. And for them to go for it on fourth down, that was a gutsy move. And that was not the only gutsy move they did. Obviously, the trick play the trick play to Nick Foles, which I found out earlier today. It was from, I believe, the Chicago Bears versus, I forgot which opponent it was on top of my head, but it was Week 17. It was the Chicago Bears and I think it was the Detroit Lions. I'm not too sure at that. I'm not too sure right now, but it was. The point is, the trick play. It was exactly that same exact play. And Nick Foles catch the ball for a touchdown, and that really set the tone. That was the ball game right there. That really set the tone. It really was. You can't say the Philadelphia, in my mind, you can't really say the Philadelphia Eagles was a better team than the Patriots. This game could have gone either way. It really has. It really has. Remember, the Patriots was leading at one point. Had their first lead of the game, and the Philadelphia Eagles came back and take the lead. And honestly, part of me wanted overtime. To tell the truth, part of me wanted overtime because it was such a great game to watch. It really was, and I give Nick Foles a lot of credit. He matched toe to toe with Tom Brady, and Tom Brady. Even though he lost the game, but he was sensational too. For 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Now with Nick Foles, yeah, he did have. Nick Foles, he had a sensational game, the well-deserved MVP. He was sensational. Sensational. Throw the football effectively. He really has. And I told you, and I spoke to you folks on Friday. If usually when teams blew out another opponent in the championship game, they get shut out and they lose or blew the game in the Super Bowl. Well, that wasn't the case. Nick Foles played great, despite the fact New England defense was terrible, and the Philadelphia Eagles too. Outside of defensive play to decide the game, really. But I can't believe I'm saying this. The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Super Bowl champions, and you know what? Well deserved. They played that underdog the rest of the way, and here's the thing that really shocked me too. And I forgot to add this. Tom Brady was not sacked through that game. Tom Brady was not sacked at all. Tom Brady threw the football perfectly. Effectively. He really did. He was moving up, and he could have made the play. He could have made the play in the end. I understand that. But for the most part, Tom Brady was looking very, very comfortable. And towards the end of the game, he threw the ball perfectly to the point that it was so close that it could have been a touchdown. It could have been a touchdown. It really could. But you know what? Philadelphia made the play in the defense. If that defensive play, and I keep bringing it up, if they didn't make that play, I don't think they would have won this game. They really wouldn't. They really wouldn't. And they did I can't emphasize enough how how their coaching adjustments was. They coaching. Yeah, Doug Peterson out-coached Bill Belichick. He really had. He really had. He really had. There's no other way to say it. There's no way around it. It's safe to say that Philadelphia wanted it more than New England. They really had. And one last point. Can we stop the talk once and for all? Not only that the NFL is rigged, that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. He's one of the greatest quarterbacks in NFL history. Let's put it that way. Now to the broadcast. I thought the broadcast was terrible. Especially that final call, I expected. That was an atrocious job by Al Michaels. And Al Michaels did a lot of big games in his career. He did a lot of big games. From the Olympics, to baseball, to the NBA, to multiple Super Bowls. And this was the flattest he has sound. And Chris Collinsworth had a rough game too. He said in that touchdown that was an incomplete pass. That was an incomplete pass. He's right he's wrong because if you pay attention, his foot almost touched the white, but it glides, so the touchdown stand. And let me add that too. Let me add that play as well. I'm glad that they made that play stand, because if it was the regular season, everybody and their mama know that play wouldn't stand. That play would not stand. So I'm glad they did that. There was a couple of plays in the NFL, a couple of plays yesterday that I'm glad they stand. But there was that one head referee that I don't like at all. And mainly me, because he was the one that had a stick index card for the first down in that Sunday night game when the Raiders faced the Cowboys. And there's always misplay calls. There's always an atrocious call. There's always call. For the most part, the calls that they made, the ref, we can finally say that the ref did not dictate the game with New England. Okay? But back to the broadcast. Listen, Al Michaels is 70 years old. And I think Al Michaels still sound good. But this is what happens when you're older and you get a bigger call. When you do a lot of big games. Al Michaels had done a lot of big games for years. Not only Al Michaels is one of the greatest broadcasters in the business. Period. And so he's allowed to have a messed up game here too, but that was a rough Super Bowl he had. And on that note, that would conclude Drew Mania Live. Thank you for tuning in. I have more episodes next time. For more information about my show, however, follow my show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and iHeartRadio. And always listen to my show weekdays on Spreaker.com. This is Andrew Perry, always saying to you, shalom, let peace go with you, and I'll talk to you in the next Drew Mania Live. So long, everybody, and once again, congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles on their first Super Bowl championship.